Hello everyone, I am Rupa, working as an assistant professor in Gokaraju Rangaraju Institute of Engineering and Technology. Now I will discuss about data cube computation and data generalization. Before going to discuss about data cube computation, first we need to see what is meant by data generalization. Then after that we can go for what are the efficient methods used for data cube computation. Generally, data generalization is a process that abstracts a large set of task-relevant data in database or in a data warehouse from a relatively low level to higher level. Within this process, it considers the task-relevant data either from database or data warehouse and relatively from low conceptual level to higher conceptual levels. Data warehousing and OLAP perform data generalization by summarizing data at varying levels of abstraction. Obviously, we can use OLAP operations to get the summarizing data from various levels of abstraction. From a data analysis point of view, data generalization is a form of descriptive data mining, which describes data in concise and summative manner and presents interesting general properties of the data. This is one of the things has to be there within the data generalization. It is a form of descriptive data mining. In descriptive data mining, generally it will use the concise and summative manner of data presenting any general properties of the data. That generally we can call it as a data characterization also. Now we will see what are the efficient methods for data cube computation. Data cube computation is an essential task in data warehouse. Pre-computation of all parts of a data cube can greatly reduce the response time and increase the performance of OLAP. Obviously, when we go for pre-computation of data, it will reduce the response time and it will increase the performance of the OLAP. So this is one of the challenging tasks here for pre-computation of the data cube. And now we'll see how we can compute data cubes in advance. Okay, how we can go for the pre-computation. Okay, we already seen in a last videos as materialization. By using that materialization, we need to go for the pre-computation of data, right? No materialization, full materialization, partial materialization. The same way here also, we can go for some of the methods for the cube materialization. Generally, whenever we have a data cube, it has to be available. I already said that we have a base cuboid and the apex cuboid. In the same way, base cell means the cell in a base cuboid, we can call it as a base cell, and we have some other cells has to be available here. Aggregate cell and ancestor and descendant cells. And aggregating cell means a cell in a non-base cuboid. A cell in a non-base cuboid, each aggregated dimension indicated as a star here. For example, we have a 3D cube has to be available. It contains 1D, 2D and 3D cells has to be there. Here 1D and 2D cells are aggregate cells. Why? Because the 3D is a base cell. Here we are not aggregating the base cuboid. Without considering the non-base cuboid, we need to aggregate the remaining cuboids. That comes under the aggregate cell. And next one is the ancestor and descendant cells. And in 3D cube, 1D and 2D cells are ancestors of 3D cell, obviously. 1D and 2D cells are ancestors of 3D cell. And TD is a descendant cell. 3D cell is descendant cell and 1 and 2D are ancestors of the 3D cell. Okay. Like this, we can go for the aggregation of the data. That means pre-computation of the data in all the cells. Now we'll see what are the methods has to be available within a full cube materialization. We have a full cube computation, iceberg cube computation and a closed cube computation. Under full cube computation, the computation of all cells of the cuboids in a data cube. Here we need to compute all the cells of the cube. That comes under the full cube. When we go for the iceberg cube, computing only cuboid cells whose measure satisfies the iceberg condition. Here they are keeping one condition as iceberg condition. If any of the cell will satisfy that iceberg condition, then those cuboids we need to compute. For example, we have only a small portion of cells maybe above the water level in a sparse cube. We have some sparse cube has to be available. Above the water level, we can put some condition. Okay, based on the above the water level only, we need to compute the corresponding cells. Okay, we can keep some metric. Based on the metric, we can compute the cells within the iceberg cube. We can write a query in a way as a compute cube, sales, iceberg gas, select, month, city, customer group, count star. From sales info, cube by month, city, customer group having the count is greater than minimum support. Here this will be the iceberg condition. Based on this condition, we need to aggregate the corresponding sales of month, city and customer group. Okay, this is about the iceberg cube. And within the closed cube, the cube consists of only closed cells. A cell that has no descendant cell, then it is a closed cell. If the cell doesn't have any of the descendant cell, we can call it as a closed cell. Okay, those computations as done with the help of this closed cube computation. Now we'll see what are the methodologies we need to follow for computation of this full and iceberg cube computations. We can follow bottom-up approach as a multi-way array aggregation and top-down approach as a bottom-up computation. We use the Buck algorithm, and we need to integrate the top-down and bottom-up approach also. The algorithm is the star cubing algorithm. We will see in detail about all the three. First, we can go for the multi-way array aggregation of a cube. Compute full cube by using the multi-way array aggregation. We need to partition the array into chunks. Here we need to partition into the chunks a small cube which fits in a memory. Okay, whatever the whole cube has to be available, we need to divide into the chunks of cubes, and that has to be obviously fit into the memory. Okay, and we can compress by using the address in a way as it contains each and every chunk has to be contain the chunk ID and the offset value. Okay, based on this one, easily we can identify the each and every chunk. Computes the compute aggregates in multi-way by visiting the cube cells in the order which minimizes the number of times to visit the each cell and reduces the memory access and storage cost. Okay, we need to aggregate by using this multi-way array aggregation by visiting the cube cells. We need to visit all the cells without revisiting again and again the same cell. Okay, we can minimize the number of times to visit each cell and reduce the memory access and storage cost also. Okay, like that we need to keep some order. Based on the order, we can aggregate all the cells without revisiting the cells. We need to reduce the memory access and the storage cost. We can compute the cells. For example, we have a cube has to be available. It contains A, B, C are the dimensions. A contains A0, A1, A2 and A3 attributes, and B contains B0 to B3, and as usual C contains C0 to C3. Okay. Here within this complete cube, we need to divide into the chunks. It contains each and every cell it contains total number of cells as 64. We can start from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And back we have a 6, 7 and like that, and we can count all the cells. It contains the 64. How it will contain 64? Each and every dimension contains 4 attributes. 4 into 4 again into 4, it will indicate 64. 4 into 4 into 4. Okay, this will give the 64 chunks. Now we'll see what is the best traversing order to do multi-way array aggregation. Okay, suppose we can consider as example as ABC dimensions as there. It contains 40, 400 and 4000 respectively. Thus the size of each partition is obviously it is a 10, 100 and 1000 respectively. Computation of the all cuboids means it contains ABC dimensions means base cuboid is ABC, and 2D cuboids are AB, AC and BC, and 1D cuboid are ABC, and apex cuboid doesn't have anything. Okay. And possible orderings are we need to consider. We can consider any of the order. We can check which order will gives the minimum access time and minimum memory storage. Okay, the ordering we can start from 1, 2, 3, 4 and 64 by scanning the chunks. First we can scan the chunks as 1, 2, 4 of ABC, and the B0, C0 is computed, right? Because it is aggregated over the A0 to A3. Okay, first we can consider the 1, 2, 3, 4 chunks, and we can consider the B0 to C0. Okay, these two are aggregated over the A0 to A3. Okay, by using this one, the multi-way aggregation used to avoid the rescan of a particular chunk, right? To avoid the 3D chunk more than once into the memory, the minimum requirement for holding all 2D planes. Okay, every time without revisiting of a 3D cuboid as a ABC, we need to consider all the 2D planes here. Okay, we can write a formula as a whole AB plane plus one row of AC plus one chunk of BC plane. Okay, let us apply this one. Whole AB plane means it contains 40 and 400 for AB. 40 into 400 plus one row of AC means A contains 40 and one row will indicate some partition, that is 1000 for C, and one row of one chunk of BC plane means one chunk it contains some partition means it contains B for 100 and C for 1000. Okay, the total will give the 1,56,000 memory units. Now we can change that ordering. Okay, we will go for ordering from in this order 1, 17, 33 and so on up to 53. The whole BC plane, here we can change this ordering. Whole BC plane plus one row of AC plane plus one chunk of AB plane. Now we can calculate this one. It will give the 16 lakhs 41,000 memory units. Okay, it's more memory units has to be there compared to the previous ordering. Now we can consider the ordering as in a 1, 2, 3 and so on 64 chunks. That is the best order. We can follow order in a way as a, instead of moving in a random ordering, we can move in a ordering as a 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on up to 64 chunks. Okay, here we have all that means apex has to be there, and 1D ABC will be there. We can aggregate AB and we can for C it contains AC also and BC is also available. Okay, without here we are not keeping it as a BC. Okay, and in the second level it contains all the 2D cuboids, and in the last level it contains the base cuboid as a ABC. Okay, by taking it as a 2D plane and without revisiting every time this base cuboid, we need to follow the ordering from starting from 1 to and so on 64. Now next method is a BUCK for iceberg cube computation. Okay, BUCK means bottom up construction for computation of a sparse and iceberg cubes. Unlike this multi-way array aggregation, the BUCK construct the cube from the apex cuboid towards the base cuboid, which allows BUCK to share data partitioning cost. Okay, here the name they have given as a bottom-up approach, but generally we can think in a way as a the top one will be the apex cuboid here. Here it starts from apex cuboid and it will share the data partitioning cost for the all the cuboids. This process order allows BUCK to prune during construction. While construction of the corresponding computation, it will prune the data by using the a priori property. Here the a priori property means if a given cell does not satisfy the minimum support, then no descendant of the cell will satisfy minimum support either. Okay, that means whatever the cell we are using, it will definitely follow some minimum support. Based on the support, we can compute the corresponding cells. Otherwise, we can prune that one. That means remove that one. The best ordering is the one that minimizes the memory requirement and reduce the IOs. Okay, we can write in a iceberg cube example as a compute cube iceberg cube as select ABC count star from R is a relation cube by ABC are dimensions having count is greater than 3. Here this will be the minimum support. Okay, based on this count only we need to compute the corresponding cells. Okay, this is about the BUCK algorithm. Then next last one is a integrating method as a star cubing algorithm. This will computing the star cube will follow both top down and bottom up approach. Here it has to be contain explore shared dimensions. The dimension is shared dimensions of ACD and AD. Let us observe this one. ACD will share A and AD also share A. In the same way ABD will share AB also. Allows for shared computations. Here it follows the aggregate in a top down manner but with a bottom up sublayer underneath which is allow a priori pruning. It will aggregate in a top-down manner by using the multi-way aggregation and follow the bottom-up approach for a priori pruning algorithm. Just like as a BUCK algorithm. The shared dimension grow in bottom-up fashion. Aggregation done with the top-down fashion and shared dimensions will grow in a bottom-up fashion. Like that we need to compute the all the cube cells within this data cube. These are all the methods we are using for the efficient computation of the data cube. Thank you.